Hello, Capricorn. I need to share what just came through in this reading because honestly, the energy here is so clear, and it is time for you to hear this. I have been doing tarot for years now, and sometimes a reading just hits different. Like the universe decided today is the day we are laying everything out on the table. So grab your coffee or tea or whatever you are having and let us dive into what the cards are showing for you because this is about truth, about seeing through the fog, and about love that is actually real coming into your life. Before we get into the cards, I just want you to take a breath and think about this question. Have you been feeling like something was off lately? Like you have been looking at a situation or maybe a person and trying to convince yourself it is what you want it to be, but deep down something keeps whispering that it does not add up. Yeah, the cards are picking up on that, and we are about to unpack why you have been feeling this way. Yeah, the cards are pinning this way. This reading is not just about what is falling apart. It is about what is being built for you on the other side of this truth. All right, so the first card that came out, and honestly, it jumped out of the deck, which always gets my attention, is the Five of Swords. Now I know this card can look a bit intense when you first see it. There is conflict energy here for sure. But what I am picking up for you, Capricorn, is that this is about a situation where you have been dealing with someone who was not playing fair. The Five of Swords talks about arguments that go nowhere, about someone who would rather win than actually resolve anything, and I think you know exactly what I am talking about. This could be in a romantic connection or even a close friendship that you thought was something more, but the pattern has been the same. You try to communicate, you try to make things work, and somehow you end up feeling like you lost, even when you were being reasonable. Here is what I find fascinating about this card showing up first, though. The Five of Swords is actually exposing the game. You know how sometimes you can be in a situation for so long that you start thinking maybe this is just how relationships are. Maybe everyone has to deal with this level of drama or manipulation or hot and cold behavior. But the Five of Swords coming out right at the start is like the card saying nitrogen monoxide. This is not normal and this is not what you deserve. Someone in your energy has been more focused on their ego than on genuine connection. They might have been breadcrumbing you, saying just enough to keep you interested, but never actually showing up consistently. Or maybe they have been playing victim, always turning things around, so somehow you are the one apologizing when they were the one who messed up. What I am seeing here is that you have been way too understanding, Capricorn. And I say that with love because I know you pride yourself on being mature and patient and not being the type to overreact. But there is a difference between being patient and being taken advantage of, and the Five of Swords is highlighting that this situation has crossed that line. The illusion here is that you thought if you just gave this person enough time, enough chances, enough understanding, they would finally step up. But the truth that is coming through now is that someone who genuinely wants to be with you does not need 100 chances. They show up. They are consistent. They do not leave you questioning where you stand. I also want to point out that the Five of Swords can indicate that you are the one walking away from this battle. And that is actually the victory here. Not every fight is worth fighting, Capricorn. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is recognize that you are arguing with someone who does not want to find a solution. They want to keep you engaged in chaos. And you are too smart for that. You are too valuable for that. The cards are giving you permission to put down your sword, not because you lost, but because you finally see that this was never a fair fight to begin with. Moving to the second card, and this one really drives home the message we just talked about. We have the Fool. Now listen. The Fool at first glance might seem like a weird card to get when we are talking about truth and clarity, right? Because the Fool is usually about new beginnings and taking leaps of faith. But here is what I am getting from this card in your reading. The Fool represents the part of you that went into this situation with an open heart. You were willing to believe in someone. You were willing to see the best in them. You gave them the benefit of the doubt again and again because that is who you are. You do not approach connections with cynicism or walls up by default. But here is the deeper truth the Fool is revealing. You were innocent in this. Not naive, innocent. There is a difference. Being innocent means you approach this with genuine intentions. You are not playing games. You were not trying to manipulate or control. You showed up as your authentic self and you expected the same in return because why would not you? That is what healthy people do. The illusion was not about you being foolish, Capricorn. The illusion was that this other person was matching your energy and your intentions when they were not. The Fool is also telling me that there is a part of you that might be feeling embarrassed or frustrated with yourself right now. Like, how did I not see this sooner? How did I let this go on for so long? Why did I believe them when there were red flags? And I need you to hear this. Stop that right now. The Fool is a beautiful card of pure potential and trust, and the fact that you can still access that part of yourself after everything you have been through. That is a strength, not a weakness. Do not let someone else's inability to appreciate you make you doubt your own capacity for love and trust. What I love about the Fool showing up here is that it is also pointing to what is coming next for you. Because yes, we are closing a chapter on this illusion. But the Fool is literally the first card of the major arcana. It is about fresh starts. And after you walk away from what was not serving you, you get to take everything you learned and start again, but this time with more wisdom. You are not going back to zero, Capricorn. You are leveling up to a new beginning that is built on truth this time. The Fool is saying your ability to trust and love openly is not gone. It is just going to be directed towards someone who actually deserves it now. Okay, so third card. Let us talk about the Page of Swords because this one is so telling about what has been happening behind the scenes. The Page of Swords is all about information, communication, and honestly, it can indicate gossip or things being said that are not entirely truthful. What I am picking up with this card is that there has been a lot of talk in your situation, but not a lot of action backing it up. Someone might have been telling you what you wanted to hear, making promises, painting pictures of a future together, but when it came down to actually following through, suddenly there were always excuses, always reasons why now was not the right time, always something else that had to happen first. The Page of Swords can also represent information coming to light. And Capricorn, I think you are either about to discover or you have recently discovered that what you were being told and what was actually true are two very different things. This could be something direct, like finding out this person was not as available as they claimed to be, or it could be more subtle, like realizing that the version of themselves they presented to you was just a character they were playing. The Page of Swords is exposing the gap between words and reality. Here is what I find really interesting, though. The Page of Swords is a curious energy. Pages in tarot are learners. They are students of their suit. So the swords are the suit of air, of thoughts and communication and truth. What this tells me is that you have been in student mode whether you realized it or not. You have been paying attention. You have been collecting data. You have been noticing the inconsistencies even if you were not ready to act on them yet. And now you have enough information to see the full picture. The truth has been revealing itself piece by piece. And the Page of Swords is that final piece clicking into place where you just know. I also want to mention that the Page of Swords can be a bit restless, a bit anxious energy sometimes, and I would not be surprised if you have been feeling that way lately. Like your mind has been working overtime trying to make sense of things, replaying conversations, analyzing behavior patterns, trying to figure out what was real and what was not. That mental exhaustion is real, Capricorn, and the cards are acknowledging it. But here's the good news. Once the truth is fully revealed and you are not in that confusing in-between space anymore, that anxiety is going to lift. Clarity brings peace even when the truth is not what you hoped it would be. Because at least you know and you can move forward from a place of truth instead of confusion. Now we are moving into the energy of what is shifting and what is coming in for you. And the fourth card is the Ten of Wands. Okay, so I know this might seem like a heavy card to see when we are supposed to be moving towards something better, right? Because the Ten of Wands typically shows up when someone is carrying too much, when they are exhausted and overburdened. But let me tell you what I am seeing here for you. The Ten of Wands in this position is representing what you have been carrying in this connection or situation that was not even yours to carry. What happens when you put down the Ten of Wands, though? When you release what was draining you, suddenly you have space and energy for what is actually meant for you. And that brings us to our fifth card, which is honestly giving me chills because the timing of this is so perfect. We have the Eight of Swords. Now stay with me here because I know the Eight of Swords looks restrictive and stuck. But in this reading, it is actually showing the before picture. This card represents how you have been feeling. Trapped in a situation where you could not see a way out. Bound by your own thoughts and fears about what would happen if you left, or if you spoke your truth, or if you admitted that this was not working. The Eight of Swords is fascinating. Because if you look at the imagery in most decks, the person is blindfolded and surrounded by swords stuck in the ground. But here is the thing. Their bindings are loose, and there is actually a clear path behind them. They are not actually trapped, they feel trapped. And that is what has been happening for you, Capricorn. You have been so focused on the obstacles, so caught up in trying to make sense of the confusion, so worried about making the wrong choice that you have not seen that you actually have way more freedom and power than you realized. The Eight of Swords is about mental restriction, about the prison we build in our own minds when we convince ourselves we do not have options. Maybe you have been thinking, I have already invested so much time in this person. Or everyone else seems to make relationships work. Why cannot I figure this out? Or what if I leave and I never find anyone else? Or what if I am wrong and I am giving up on something that could have been good? These are the swords surrounding you. These thoughts that keep you frozen and unable to move forward. But here is what the card is revealing. These are just thoughts. They are not truth. And you have the power to remove them. Blindfold and see your situation clearly. What I love about the Eight of Swords coming up in this position is that it is showing me you are in the process right now of removing those blinders. The illusion is shattering, remember. And part of that illusion was the belief that you were stuck. You are not stuck, Capricorn. You have choices. You have power. You have the ability to walk away from what is not serving you and toward what will actually nourish and support you. The Eight of Swords is the moment before liberation. It is recognizing the cage was never locked to begin with. And now. Oh, hey Capricorn, now we get to the final card, and this is where everything shifts into what is coming for you. It's coming for you. And I pulled Death, and before you panic, let me tell you this is one of the most powerful and positive cards you could possibly get in this position. Death in tarot is never about physical death. It is about transformation, about endings that make way for new beginnings, about the complete and total closure of a chapter so that something new can emerge. This is the universe confirming that yes, something is ending, the illusion is done. The situation that was not serving you is finished, but what is coming next is so much better. Death is a major arcana card, which means this is a significant, fated kind of transformation. This is not just a little shift or a minor change. This is a complete metamorphosis. The person you are becoming on the other side of this situation is not the same person who entered it, and that is a good thing. You are shedding old patterns, old beliefs about what you deserve, old tolerations that you are no longer willing to accept. Death is stripping away everything that was false, so that only what is real and true remains. Here is what I am really picking up about death in your reading, though. This ending is creating space for your true love to come in. Not someone who kind of likes you, not someone who wants you when it is convenient. Not someone who keeps you in a confusing situationship, but someone who is ready for you, someone who sees your value immediately, someone who does not play games because they are too busy being grateful they found you. Death is clearing the path, and when death shows up, it does not mess around. It is a complete severing of what was so that what is meant for you can actually reach you. I keep hearing the phrase around the corner, and that is so literal, Capricorn. Not months from now, not years from now, but soon. Once you fully release this old situation and the illusions around it, once you step into the truth of what you deserve and who you are, your person is right there. They might already be in your periphery and you just have not noticed yet because you were too focused on trying to make something work that was never going to. Or they might be about to enter your life in a way that feels easy and natural and right. Like finally things are flowing instead of being a constant struggle. Death is also about rebirth, remember. And the version of you that is being reborn right now is so clear on your standards, so solid in your sense of self-worth. So done with settling that when your true love shows up, you are going to recognize them immediately because they are going to be the opposite of what you just experienced. Where there was confusion, there will be clarity. Where there was inconsistency, there will be reliability. Where there was game playing, there will be genuine intention. Death is promising you that the painful ending is not the conclusion of your love story. It is the beginning of the real one. So Capricorn, let me bring this all together for you because I know we covered a lot of ground here. The Five of Swords showed you that you were dealing with someone who was not playing fair, and that situation was never going to become what you hoped. The Fool revealed that you approached this with genuine intentions and an open heart, and that is nothing to be ashamed of. That is your superpower. The Page of Swords confirmed that information has been coming to light. The truth has been revealing itself, and you have been paying attention even when it was painful. The Ten of Wands acknowledged how much you have been carrying and gave you permission to finally put it down. The Eight of Swords showed you that the feeling of being trapped was a mental construct, and you actually have way more freedom than you realized. And Death, beautiful transformative death, is closing this chapter completely and clearing the path for true love to come in. The illusion that is shattering is this idea that you had to work this hard for love, that you had to accept crumbs, that you had to be understanding to the point of self-sacrifice, that you had to convince someone of your worth. That entire belief system is crumbling right now, and honestly, good riddance. The truth that is being revealed is that you are inherently valuable. You deserve someone who is excited about you. You deserve consistency and honesty and effort that matches yours. And that person exists, and they are close. Your true love is not going to require you to question everything. They are not going to leave you feeling confused or anxious or like you are always doing something wrong. They are going to make you feel seen and appreciated and safe. And the reason you had to go through this painful period of illusion shattering is because you needed to learn what love is not so. That when the real thing shows up, you can recognize it and you can receive it without sabotaging it with old patterns or doubts. Just want to say, Capricorn, that I am really proud of you for getting to this point of clarity. I know it has not been easy. I know there have been moments where you wanted to just ignore the red flags and convince yourself everything was fine because the alternative of facing the truth felt too hard. But you did it anyway. You let yourself see what needed to be seen. And now you get the reward of that courage, which is freedom and space for something real. If you are resonating with this reading, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Are you currently going through a situation where illusions are being shattered? Have you been feeling that sense of finally seeing clearly after a period of confusion? Let me know because I think a lot of you Capricorns are going through similar energies. right now, and there is power in knowing you are not alone in this transformation.